Today I'd like to welcome a guest a bit different from our normal guests in the sense that Ed is an artist and a cartoonist and very different, again, as I said, from our normal financial guests. However, he's just drawn a cartoon which I think is politically very interesting and stimulating and has created quite a stir in the marketplace. But a little bit of background about Ed, first of all. You had a long career in cartoons, illustrations, etc., and you graced the papers of Punch, Private Eye, The Spectator, Oldie Saga, and a host of newspapers, and magazines and books and greeting cards and calendars and films. It's quite a spectacular range.
Yes, since 1960, in fact.
Yeah, absolutely. And many of us as kids grew up with some of the books and ITV series he wrote, such as Simon and the Land of Chalk Drawings. Which I think affected lots of people's lives. And coming back to Ed and his approach to life, I quote from Ed's own website, "Always humorous, sometimes dark and twisted, an inventive imagination that throws up different angles on everyday life." I think that probably gets you in one sometimes. Yeah?
Well, it depends what comes out of the air, really. It's, I mean, you'll probably say, well, where do the ideas come from? You know, I don't know. That's the thing. I'm not an artist. I mean, I don't walk around. I haven't got a beard. Well, I haven't got a beard now. I used to have a little bit one. With a fold under my arm or a sketchbook under my arm, wanting to draw everything that's there. A lot of artists do. Yeah. I don't. I do not. I'll have a game of football or a five-a-side football or go to the gym or... I did Shaolin for years. You know, I'd much prefer that. I was more.
But these ideas must come out of somewhere. I mean, you just don't know.
I don't know because it's been a slow development, really. The people like Bill Tidy, Mike Williams, Martin Honeysett, and people. Their styles more or less were the same from the start, and they have never. They didn't start from such a low. My ideas were good. Yeah. But the drawing, oh God, I look back and I wince. I actually wince.
Well, we all do that. I mean, I remember being young as well.
Yeah. Oh, but no, I still think. I mean, I'm 77 now, and I still think I'm improving. Slower, but improving.
Okay, that's
I'm not
always
being
a good
facetious about that. I draw slower now.
Yeah, it's a good view of life, though, isn't it? To constantly improve. But I mean, how on earth did you first get into cartoons? I mean, a lot of people have asked me that. Where does this start?
I was a grant student at 16. Went to Leicester College of Art and Technology, and while I was there I did some cartoons for the Lucifer magazine, along with there was a fellow who's become quite a famous director, a film director, a fellow called Graham Baker, or Peter Graham Baker, and oddly enough he was quite a bit older than us, you know. He was and he always said, why don't you concentrate on humour, you're good. And then we had a marvellous, in the second year, we had a marvellous teacher, you know, Beryl Pearson, and she just, I mean, I wasn't a bad graphic artist, that was the course I was on. I wasn't a bad graphic artist at all, I was quite good, quite inventive. And, you know, I did work for Lucifer, I did it in design work and so on. Left college with quite a good degree, and just 19. But after that, oh dear, you know, it was, I was thinking of going back to building, which is what I wanted to do in the first place when I left school, you know. And it was someone did it for a bet. I've said this before, I was under £5 a week for a 48-hour week at a completely manic company. Wonderful, I had wonderful time there, but in Leicester, I couldn't get a job in London. I was too young. I hadn't grown a moustache or anything like that. And anyway, oh gosh, it was a bet. I did some posters for this youth centre. We were all waiting then to go into the armed forces. Youth centres, a lot of them are in their 20s, you know, and it was all the bad boys had been rounded up and sent to this place by the police. And we were, you know, we were some of them.
So you were one of them.
And I did these posters, and he said, why don't you send these into Punch? I said, well, I've just about given up on that. You know, I hadn't sent any before, and I thought, yeah. So I did. I sent for a bet, for a £5 bet, and I sent them in, and they took one. 7 guineas, and I was on £4.15 shillings for a week. And I thought, 7 guineas for a 3-hour, 2-hour job. What am I doing? Anyway, I kept sending them in, and I did keep working at Winterton. I thought, this can't last. But it did.
Yeah.
Then I got married in 1964, and that's when I started with Private Eye. I was Punch for 4 years, and then Private Eye.
Okay, so right at the early days of Private Eye,
Yes,
you've been a long time.
Yeah, Michael Heath's, I think, he's been there longer than I am.
Yeah.
I'm not sure about Mike Williams, but
that comes to this
Bill Tidy,
this cartoon
this
that's
cartoon,
just published. One day, my son, you'll be able to walk to America, and that's published in Private Eye last week. I think,
yes, it was. Yes.
Very, very apt at the moment. Very politically pertinent as well.
No, not really. It could have been one day you could walk to France or the Channel Islands.
Yes, exactly.
You know, America just was the Atlantic. You know, in the far distance.
You get the message across against about the pollution and stuff. And I was reading the paper this morning, and there was an article about David who basically is saying the same thing. You know, that this world is sort of shrinking itself under a mound of plastic, and it's poisoning the fish in the sea. And there are even stories about it. There'll be more tonnage of plastic in the sea in a few years' time than there will be fish, which would be rather frightening. But do you ever get surprised about the reaction of people to some of your cartoons and ideas?
Yeah,
do you think?
yes. Yeah, I mean, I have regular people who are regulars who buy the finished drawings.
Yeah.
And I get people who ask for, if the finished drawing's gone, redraw, you know.
Right.
Obviously they pay, you know, because this is my job. And I have regulars, and quite a few of those, but sometimes, you know, there was one with, a few weeks ago I did one with Christians and Lions, you know, just Christians, Lions, why not doing that? Yeah. Oh gosh, the Christians are being massacred in the Islamic countries now, which they unfortunately are. How can you make a joke about this? And I thought, it's not.
No, it's a
cartoon.
Exactly.
But you do get some people do take it.
Yeah.
You know.
But this is a bit part of our history as a country. You know, strong. Sorry, punchy cartoons that get people's attention, make people think about things.
Oh, it's good. I mean, it's nice that people, because living in the wilds of Leicestershire, you know, I'm just a fellow who lives in a cul-de-sac off one of the roads. You know, that's it. Yeah. And we've got this whacking great garden as well. And no one seems to be digging the ditch out, and it's a long ditch. But I used to be in the tug-of-war team and the various other things, and. Certainly no celebrity or anything like that, thank goodness. I mean, even when I got my doctorate, Doctor of Letters.
That's what I was going to say. You got a doctorate recently. And,
Doctor of Letters.
Doctor of Letters at Leicester University.
Doctor of Lettuce. Can you come and have a look at my garden? It was just Mickey taking. That's it. You know, hello, Doc. Can you look at my garden? No.
But, you were actually on the same stage as Nicholas Parsons with that.
I was indeed,
Letters as well. And then you've been a celebrity on Radio Leicester, I think it is.
Yes, I was interviewed by Ben Jackson. Yes.
Okay, that's quite good. So people must be accosting you in the street now, hasn't they?
I don't think so. No.
Okay, no. You've had this great long, illustrious career, and you're still obviously working, and doesn't look like you have any intention of stopping. Have you got any sort of specific plans? You want to start writing another book, doing another TV series?
I've got loads of ideas and books in me, but trying to find a publisher, you are pigeonholed as a cartoonist, as a Private Eye cartoonist. Oh, you're that very acerbic cartoonist, you know. Oh, I don't think you'd write children's books before you've even started. Right. I wrote the Simon books, and I wrote one or two others, and then I let it drop for about 20 odd years, and I wish I hadn't. I wish I'd carried on.
Okay. Well,
because once I start, I've got a load, but getting an agent and getting a publisher is horribly, you know, it's difficult. You are pigeonholed.
Yeah. Well, we're running out of time. it's always very, very interesting to see people coming up with ideas. This cartoon, as I mentioned, has struck a chord with lots of people. It seems to have gone viral all over Twitter and the internet. And hopefully we have many more years of producing interesting and stimulating, thought-provoking ideas. So
yes, well, the world is so strange at the moment. You can't get stranger, can you? Really?
No.
I mean, the business with America. I mean, it's easy to pick on Trump, but I mean, a wounded America is not good for the rest of us.
No, exactly.
And it is wounded, I'm afraid, at the moment.
That's about all time we've got now. So thank you very much.
Well, thank you
very
very
enjoyable
much.
to speak to you. Thank you, and I'm sure we'll catch up with you again in the near future. Next time we produce something that
Yeah, I hope
gets
so. I hope
everyone's
it's next week.
imagination. All right, thanks.